Hey, what's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another live stream for you guys. What we've got on the agenda today is who do you want as the next Tottenham manager? We got Slav in the hot seat this time, back for another live stream. You were back in the hot seat this morning.
Back in business.
Simeon ain't here. Slav is taking his space. How you doing, Slav?
I'm very happy to be back here. Looking forward to getting stuck in. Never thought I'd be back here doing some managers research.
Yeah,
but
tell me about
here
it.
we are. Let's get into it.
All right, so the way this live stream is going to be structured, we've got 8 managers to get through. Me and Slav are going to be looking through their records, seeing who we want, who we don't want, and then we're going to open up the phone lines for you guys out there to tell us who you want as our next manager. We've got 8 managers to get through. The 8 managers are Graham Potter, Gareth Southgate, Scott Parker, Erin Ten Hag, Brendan Rodgers, Allegri and Ralph Ragnick. Out of those names, who do you reckon your number one choice is?
It's a very underwhelming list.
It is, isn't it?
For me, there's 3 names that stand out to me that could, change the way, well, not necessarily change the way, but bring back the football that we love. That we love to see at Tottenham, and that's Graham Potter, Erik Ten Hag and Ralph Rangnick, along with Brendan Rodgers, but I'm not so convinced on Brendan Rodgers simply because I don't think he'll come, but we'll get into that. So I'm not really holding any hope over Brendan, but the other 3 are all good managers.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Southgate.
Well, I didn't mention him. But.
Just before we start getting into the managers and everything, I want everyone to go down, scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. And if you want us to react to any of your comments, do send it in a super chat, and we will read that out and react to it. So, yeah, we've got 430 viewers, but only 65 likes now. So you're starting to listen to me, but do scroll down, smash that like button. Unfortunately, Pochettino ain't part of the list that we're going to be talking about today.
He should be. I wish he was.
Yeah. And we've got a few comments. Ross Kamen coming in with the lav comments. Big up Ross. Yeah, so nearly 100 likes, guys. So big up to all of you out there. Are we ready? Yeah, ready. All right, let's start off with Graham Potter. Just about to bring some stats on screen for you guys. So that's Graham Potter. 10 years as manager, 380 games, 168 wins, 44.2 win percentage with 1 trophy coming in Sweden.
I was about to say, you've included that 1 trophy. You wanted to sneak that one in.
In Östersunds. Obviously, after that, he went to Swansea, and then he's doing a very good job at Brighton at the moment. What's your gut feelings about Graham Potter?
I like Graham Potter. I do. I think if you watch Brighton this season, they play some really nice football. Some of the combination play and the triangles that they play, it's really good to watch. And I'm not the only person to say this, but if they had a decent striker, they would not be where they are, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, would you still feel that you would want Graham Potter if he was to go down this season?
The fascinating thing about Potter is that his footballing philosophy is great, and the identity and the football they play is really nice to watch. But as a manager, as a man, he's got some really interesting educational qualifications. I think he's like some kind of like he's got some kind of degree in people management, in psychology.
We definitely need that after Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got a lot of qualifications in the higher education sector. I think he's slept on a little bit. I think what he did at Östersunds, albeit in Sweden, is remarkable. I think they were in the 4th tier. Took them up to the Europa League. Obviously, they won at the Emirates, which is something we haven't done in a long time. So I think he's often frowned upon simply because he's the Brighton manager, which I think is a little bit wrong. But I think we could do worse than Graham Potter.
Do you think there was a similar feeling about Pochettino before he came, because he was a Southampton manager? Yeah. Albeit he did a lot better at Southampton. Southampton, a bigger club than Brighton.
Yeah, and also Espanyol. I think with Pochettino as well, it's so hard to speak down on Poch. He was everything we could ever wanted in a manager,
apart from
the trophies. But yeah, I also think that because he's English as well, if he was maybe like a foreign manager, would he get more credit? Do you think?
Who, Potter?
Yeah.
Maybe. But at the end of the day, yes, they play good football, but they still are languishing, nearly, flirting with relegation, aren't they?
Yeah, but again, in my opinion, I don't. Other than he's Bissouma, I don't think that's a great squad. I think he's got
quality. Isn't he?
I think he's turned players like Dan Burn into, who was a centre back. He's turned him into like a Roberto Carlos-esque left back. So I think he's doing a really good job. And look, he makes what's the word, like, big decisions. He didn't like Matt Ryan in goal, who had been an ever-present for them since they came to the Premier League. The Australian #1 didn't like him, got rid of him, put someone in that none of us have ever heard of, Robert Sanchez, who I think made his debut against us back in October, and he's been fantastic for them. So he knows what he's doing. He's a very intelligent man and a very, very underrated manager, I think, in my opinion. But
all right, so there's definitely some positive marks there for you for Graham Potter. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Graham Potter. Would you like to see him as our next manager? And let's move on to the next manager we're going to be talking about today. Let's move on to Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate, obviously the England manager at the moment, got to the World Cup semi-final with England. I mean,
loves right backs.
Yeah, loves right backs.
We could do with a few right backs.
He's managed 15 years, 235 games, 103 wins, 43.8 win percentage, 0 trophies. Perfect. I mean, the best he's done in club management is get relegated with Middlesbrough.
Yeah. I mean, he's a player as well.
Why would he ever be considered for a Tottenham role, apart from that Harry Kane likes him?
I think that's that.
Is that the only sticking point?
I can't think of anything. Cheap.
Cheap, yeah, he will be cheap. But he's under contract with the FA until 2022, till the end of the 2022 World Cup. So it might cost quite a bit to relieve him of his contract.
Oh, it's so I mean, we said before that the list was underwhelming. That is majorly. I think the majority of Tottenham fans would give up if he became manager.
Yeah, I mean, if he became, I don't know what I'll do if he.
You read manager as well. We want an attacking, open-minded manager to come in, and especially after what we've had with Mourinho. That is not the man. Where is he known for his attacking impetus? Beats me.
I know. He has some sort of reputation for being this sort of attacking manager when he plays 5 at the back, 2 central defensive midfielders. With all the host of attacking talent that England have, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Mason Mount, Harry Kane, Calvert-Lewin, you know what I mean?
Sancho, Rashford.
You know what I mean? The list is endless. And we play with 5 at the back.
And he plays Phillips, Henderson and Rice if he could.
So, I mean, Southgate is a big
He somehow fit Doherty and Aurier in the same team. Somehow.
He'll play 5 at the back. He'll play Højbjerg alongside Dyer, alongside Sissoko. You know what I mean?
Alongside Winks, and then it would just be Kane up front.
Not for me, man. Not for me.
I'd be very interested if someone was open to Southgate coming in, why they would be open to him coming in.
Yeah, well, let us know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Gareth Southgate. Just to let you know, we are going to be taking call-ins. The link will be with you shortly. Just members, the link will be in your community section. So do check back there shortly, as we'll be posting it up very soon. But that's Gareth Southgate for you. So I think so far from our managers, we've had a few positive comments about Potter. Not so many positive comments about Southgate. The next one we're going to be talking about is one that we've spoken about in the past behind camera, in terms of Scott Parker.
Okay.
Now, Scott Parker obviously hasn't been in management for a long time, but I think this year, he's shown that he's a good manager, albeit that Fulham look like they're going to go down this season. I like Scott Parker's style of management.
So do I. I think his man management's really, really good. I think the style of football is really good. You can see there's an identity, there's a philosophy, there's a way he wants Fulham to play, and even if they aren't winning, they stick to it. They stick to what they know and they stick to what they want to do. And you saw in the opening day of the season when they sort of got a bit torn apart by Arsenal on the opening day. He saw what he needed in terms of signings. And okay, like you said, they're not going to stay up, but it's a tough league. And he saw what they needed, and they signed players that have shown. We might end up signing one of them in Anderson. They saw in the opening day that their centre halves weren't great, so they signed Anderson. They signed Tosin on loan.
More than we've done the last 5 years.
They signed Lookman. They signed Loftus-Cheek on loan. They signed some decent players, and they signed Josh Maja on loan as well. Yeah, I think, and also, it's hard to talk down on someone that gave a lot of service to Tottenham as well.
The thing is, what I feel about Parker, I feel like that he might be suited to the role one day, but I think it might be a bit too soon for him right now. I think that he needs a bit more experience at the top. 2 years of management, obviously 1 year in the Championship, 1 year in the Premier League. He won the playoffs in his first year of management, and obviously it looks like he could very well go down this year. So I feel like maybe he needs 1 or 2 more years management to go to a top club.
Do you think with a better squad he'd do a better job? Obviously, look, Fulham's squad is okay. It's not the best as we're seeing. It's not bad. They've got a couple of decent players. I like Lookman. I like Anderson. I like Tete.
My brother seems to think Fulham's squad is better than squads like Newcastle,
I think it is.
Brighton and stuff like that.
I absolutely think it is. It's a good squad. It's a squad capable of definitely competing in the Premier League. But I think that if you gave him our squad with the opportunity to rebuild it, do you think he could do a good job?
It's a possibility, but I think it's a massive risk.
Yeah,
it's a massive risk, and I think at this stage of what we're trying to do, we can't take. We might have to take a risk, but I don't think we can take as big of a risk as what Scott Parker is, because, like I said, only 2 years of management. I think that the signs are good that he can be a good manager in the future, or he already is a good manager. But I don't think he's good enough for what we need to do right now.
Obviously, we spoke about Potter.
Yeah,
both of those managers are in similar situations down at the bottom. If you had the choice between the two, who would you take?
I think right now, I'll probably take Potter out of the two. I think Potter just has that bit more experience.
Because I was going to say, both play nice football.
Yeah.
Both have average squads. Both have Premier League. I guess you can now say both have had at least a year in the Premier League. So it's sort of, who if it came down to those two, who would you pick?
Probably Potter. To be honest, I think both of them would be quite kind of underwhelming. Can you imagine going from Pochettino, probably our best manager in the Premier League, to Jose Mourinho, one of the best managers ever, to Graham Potter or Scott Parker?
That would sum us up.
Yeah,
but
it would.
Well, you never know. We could turn into prime Barcelona with Graham Potter, with Potterball.
We got a super chat here from Animesh Dalai, and he says, "What about AVB?"
Is he doing a good job at Marseille? I thought he was at one point.
He left, didn't he? He left Marseille.
He was doing a good job then.
He was doing a good job.
Is he free? Yeah, free. No compensation. I reckon Levy's already texted him.
Would you really want AVB
I reckon Levy's
back?
texted him saying, "Look, Bale's here again.
Do you really want AVB back?
Bale's here again. Do you want those 1-0 wins in the last minute from 30 yards back?"
Yeah. I don't know, man.
No, no, thank you.
All right, let's have a look at the next manager. The next manager will be Erik ten Hag. For me, I think this is the biggest possibility out of everyone, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I thought so, and then they've just tweeted saying he might sign a new contract at Ajax. That sort of sums us up as well.
Does sum us up.
Oh dear.
Ten Hag managed 9 years, 385 games, 240 wins, 62.34 win percentage, and 4 trophies. Obviously, he's got this Ajax team playing brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. To get a team like Ajax to the Champions League semi-final, absolutely amazing job. He's worked with Pep Guardiola, learned a lot of Pep Guardiola with his time at Bayern Munich. Plays football the way we like to see it. He brings youth up. He's very good at bringing youth up. I think Erik ten Hag, out of these managers we're mentioning here, I think he might be my number one choice.
Yeah, me too. Again, we spoke about this morning. We both had that gut feeling of
Frank the ball, basically.
Yeah, it's not even that. You just had that feeling of, I don't know. It was just sort of undecided on him, and I'm not 100% convinced.
Yeah,
he's the man. Simply because managing.
But we're not 100% convinced any of these guys.
I think managing in the Eredivisie is completely different to managing in the Premier League. Going from Utrecht at home to Man City away.
We were talking about Graham Potter before, and we were commending his job in Sweden. So surely we got to commend.
Yeah, but he's come to the Premier League and he's won games.
Yeah,
and he's got a poor Brighton side playing unbelievably.
Yeah.
I think he's a good manager. Don't get me wrong. I reckon if he came and he was backed, I reckon he would be unbelievable. But what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Try and play tiki taka with Sissoko?
Yeah, I mean, will he get back? That's the main thing. And I mean, is there even any point talking about what manager we're going to bring in when we don't even know what's happening at this club at the moment? Exactly. If any manager is going to get backed?
No, exactly. I don't know. Ten Hag is a very good prospect. Looks the part as well. It's sort of when you lose out on Nagelsmann, it just everyone really feels a bit underwhelming. To be honest, that's the only problem. It's nothing to do with him. I think, like I said this morning, I think I'm just a bit salty about Nagelsmann not coming. But yeah, some of the videos I've seen of Ajax, the football they play, the third man runs.
Yeah.
We saw it in the run to the champ. We saw that first leg at White Hart Lane, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we played Ajax, when it was somehow.
I think there seems to be some sort of lag with the video. I'm not sure what's going on. Alvin Blocks is saying Levy on the Wi-Fi again. Has the stream stopped?
Levy uses Tesco Wi-Fi.
Are we still going? Let us know in the comments section below if everything's all right with the stream and everything. Back now. Everyone's saying back now. Everyone's saying, all right, cool. All right, cool. You didn't miss anything. I just missing saying we're going to go to Brendan Rodgers next.
We were discussing what Wi-Fi Levy might use.
Levy's definitely using like
Talk.
ADSL or something like. He's still using dial-up. Probably.
I reckon Levy definitely.
Do you even know what dial-up is?
No, but I do reckon Levy's definitely the kind of guy to sit in his office at the Spurs Stadium and use the Wi-Fi from the shop next door.
Well, yeah, let's get Brendan Rodgers up the stats. Brendan Rodgers, years managed 13, 591 games, 319 wins, 54 win percentage with 8 trophies. It's very unlikely, Brendan Rodgers. I mean, would you prefer Brendan to Ten Hag?
Yep, I'd take Brendan Rodgers all day. I mean, unfortunately, I think he's come out and said he's not interested.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great manager. I think with a terrible defence at Liverpool, we nearly won the league. I know they had Suarez and Sturridge and Gerrard, but they had Sacco at the back. They had a poor back four.
But with Brendan Rodgers, for some reason, his teams always seem to bottle it second half of the season.
Yeah,
that Liverpool side, Leicester last season, even Leicester to an extent this season.
They're going to finish.
Well, they probably will. They could end
the season with the FA Cup in a third place.
Yeah, it's true. If they win the FA Cup, that is.
I think he's a real. I think he would do wonders at Tottenham. It's a shame. It's a shame that he won't be the manager at Spurs, because I think he would do a brilliant job with the likes of his man management, with the likes of Harry Kane. I reckon just all the play. I reckon he'd get the best out of Delhi. It's a shame because I think he's such a talented manager.
The thing I like about Rodgers is that he's very adaptable. Like he can play the low block counter-attacking football. He can play the high pressing game. I mean, he's got it all, doesn't he, Brendan Rodgers?
And not only that, you see, how do I explain it? You see in big games, his teams show up always. His teams, that Leicester side, give the big guys a run for their money every time they play.
Yeah.
They battered United in the FA Cup quarters. They're in a final of the FA Cup. They won comfortably at our place. Yeah. So he's a good manager. He did really well in Scotland with Celtic.
And his signings have been spot on as well. You know, Wesley
the recruitment
Fofana
at Leicester though is
different
class. That's why I think is the main difference between us and them.
Are Leicester a bigger club than us? Are they not a bigger club, but are they a more attractive club at the moment to us?
I don't think so. They're just a better run club. They're more well run than we are.
What's attractive about Tottenham at the moment, though? That's the thing.
London.
Like if you've got a player that's worth 30, 40 million, let's say, and both clubs are in for it, both offering the same wages, who'd you join at the moment? With Leicester being in the Champions League and Tottenham being in the Europa Conference League.
Depends who's in charge as well. That's another thing. If you've got, unfortunately, Graham Potter in charge, you'd probably go to Leicester, whereas if you've got Erik ten Hag, maybe not.
All right, well, let's move on to the next manager we're going to talk about, and that is Massimiliano Allegri.
Do you reckon he's still house hunting in London?
Probably. He's managed 18 years, 621 games, 346 wins, 55 win percentage, and 15 trophies. Obviously, did an amazing job at Juventus, didn't he? Won the league, Serie A with AC Milan as well. What do you think about Allegri?
I think he's a really good manager, obviously. But you see everything coming out going, we're going to get an attacking-minded coach.
Yeah.
It's not Allegri then.
No, it's not Allegri. But would you take him? Would he be one of the options you would want? Would you?
That's a proper manager.
Would you compromise the kind of Tottenham DNA, Tottenham way we like to play football for an Allegri, like we did for a Jose Mourinho? And is Allegri also, because obviously he's never managed in English football before in the Premier League, is that another risk?
Well, I don't know. Poch could barely speak English when he came.
Yeah, he could barely speak
Bielsa
English,
can't,
but
I'm pretty sure Bielsa still can't speak
Bielsa
English.
can't, no.
So I don't think English makes a difference.
No, I'm not talking about speaking English, but I'm talking about knowing the English game, managing in the Premier League.
I don't know. There's just something about. There's just an aura about him, isn't there? You feel like when he would come in, there would be an aura about him. But then again, it's contradictory because Mourinho was the same. You felt that there would be a winning aura about him, and it was, to be honest, quite completely the opposite.
Yeah. All right, well, let us know in the comments section below. Would you like to see Allegri at Tottenham? He's probably, out of this list, the biggest name, isn't he? By far.
Yeah, I think he would be a good manager for a year or two. I really do. I reckon if you got a couple of signings in and you got rid of the dross, I reckon he could do a good job.
We've got a comment here saying, guys, he has been in Juventus. Come on, of course he can adjust. But, Sarri's been in Juventus as well. It's not like we want to take Sarri.
I didn't want Sarri just because of for two reasons. A, and I don't want all these former Chelsea managers.
You know what I mean? AVB, Jose Mourinho.
And B, I'm concerned for his health. Imagine how much he'd smoke if he was a Tottenham manager. It's not fair. Tottenham Hotspur would be
an ashtray.
Well, we would be an ashtray, but we would also be, an accomplice to murder because to manslaughter. We would be the reason for the man dying. Let's be real.
We never forced him to pick up the smoking.
He'd put the corner shops out of business with managed cigarettes and tobacco.
Literally will, and he'll probably be smoking the Marlboro Reds as well, the most strongest ones. But look, Sarri's not for me, man. Not for me. Let's move on to the last manager we're going to talk about, and that's Ralf Rangnick. The enigma that is Ralf Rangnick.
Go on, you start with it. You're Ralph out.
I'm not Ralph out. I'm Ralph in as director of football with another manager. I mean, look, let's just go through his stats. He's managed 36 years, 722 games, 345 wins, 47.8 win percentage with 8 trophies. The majority
you told me it was one earlier. He just won the Austrian league and that was it.
No, I said he's won only trophies in Austria and one German cup with Schalke.
Okay.
So the majority of those coming in the Austrian league. Thing is with Ralf Rangnick, yes, I know everything he comes with, but I feel that he would be better as a director of football than a manager. I don't think that he's done too well as a manager in any top club.
So, yeah, I just think that it's the style of football that he plays that I like, and it's the managers, like we said earlier, the managers of Tuchel, Klopp, and all of these managers, they learn from him.
Yeah,
it's the Ralf Rangnick tree.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get up the signings that Ralf Rangnick made.
Yeah, so this is my point, though. This is why he should be director of football with a manager underneath.
Oh, can he do both?
Probably. Don't
Don't
know how much power Levy will give him, though.
I can't even find the signings, but some of them, he found Sabitzer, he found Kanate.
Yeah.
He found a lot of these. Here we go. He found his best signings as the sporting director at Leipzig: Mukiele, Werner, and Kunku, Forsberg.
But I swear
Hulstenberg.
Scott Mitchell was there.
Who?
Mitchell.
Paul Mitchell.
Paul Mitchell, I mean, was there.
Yeah,
and he was the person working on the development.
Josh Kimmich. He found Josh Kimmich. Klosterman at €1 million, Poulsen 1.5 million euros, Sabitzer 2 million euros, Kanate, who's going to Liverpool for 40 million. They found him for free.
Yeah.
Remarkable, really, when you think about it.
Look, his.
I think we could do worse than that. I think he'd sort out the mess that our recruitment is for a start, and I think he'd sort out the mess that is our playing style.
But the guy has hardly managed in the last 10 years. He's only been in those kind of roles in director of football roles and development roles in the last 10 years. He's only managed for 2 seasons in the last 10 years.
That's probably, that might be a factor of why he's not top of the list. I don't think he's top of the list at Spurs, the short list. But I think we could do worse than Ralf Rangnick. Absolutely. I think he's a really, really good prospect. But
all right, well, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Ralf Rangnick. But those are the 8 managers we've gone through that have been not heavily linked, but the names that have been bandied about at the moment. We're going to get some The link is in your community section right now. So if you want to join the conversation, tell us who you want as manager, do click that link and come and join us for a conversation. Now we've gone through those 8 managers. Is your thinking changed at all on who you want, or still the same, Potter?
I said before, it's a very underwhelming list, isn't it? Is there anyone on that list where you look and go...
Is there anyone not on that list that you would like, obviously apart from the obvious Nagelsmann?
That I'd like? No, there's names on that's not on the list that I think could be in with a shout that I don't think Tottenham are A, looking at, and B, in...
Like who?
I said to you earlier, Steven Gerrard.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I just think they're too inexperienced for me, Steven Gerrard. He's been manager for 1 year.
Just throwing names about now, really.
Yeah. Well, you get Simeon in, you know what I mean? Get Simeon in as manager.
Well, Sim, head coach. We'll get me, you, and Sim, head coach,
you know what?
assistant coach, and head of recruitment.
I give you my my Football Manager CV. It'll be second to none, mate.
Honestly,
I've won more than Steven Gerrard.
I was speaking about this with a friend of mine. There is a real shortage of quality managers across Europe. Really, I think. Yeah. Even if you could choose any manager to come in right now, take out Pep and Klopp. Is there anyone that stands out? And Zidane? Is there anyone that... Poch?
Klepp? No.
Klepp? Who's Klepp?
Klopp, Pep. No, I'm just trying to name them. Klopp,
Plop.
Pep. Klopp, Pep, Pop. Klopp, Poch, and Pep.
Zidane, he's won 4 Champions Leagues. Can't say he's not.
Yeah. Nah, there isn't really any standout managers. I mean, the Lille manager's doing really well at the moment. I mean, that story that Fabrizio broke yesterday about him going to Nice is nuts to me. I mean, he's about to win the league with Lille.
Nagelsmann.
And he's going to go to Nice.
I'm trying to think. There's a real shortage of, quality. Marco Rose would have been a good shout, but he's gone to Dortmund.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were linked with Marcelinho bit from Bilbao, and thank God that's not happening.
Would you take in Harry for the rest of the season?
Who?
Harry Redknapp.
For the interim?
Now,
oh yeah.
I don't know why
absolutely.
Why
not?
We didn't do that. I don't know if you heard, but on one of his podcasts this week, he said that he would be open to it.
It's a bit late now.
Well, yeah, it is a bit.
It's
late.
a shit. Absolutely, for 5 games in a cup final. Why not?
Yeah, I would have loved that.
He would have got the best out of Bale and Dele and whatnot.
Would you put Tuchel up with those managers on that list?
If he wins the Champions League, absolutely. But at the moment, maybe not yet. Soon. I was very anti-Tuchel when he came in. I thought he wouldn't be as a great. He's been brilliant since he's come in for them.
Do you reckon that's?
But they've got a great
his
squad.
Management or a new manager bounce? What do you reckon?
I think it's his management. I think he's a good man. But they've got an unbelievable squad. When Kante's injured, they can play Kovacic and Jorginho.
Yeah.
They've got a wonderful squad compared to us. They've spent 300 million in the summer.
It shows how bad Lampard was doing, didn't it?
Exactly. They've got a great squad.
I'm just worried that if we go for one of these inexperienced managers like a Steven Gerrard or a Scott Parker, it'll just turn out like Frank Lampard and he'll be sacked halfway through next season.
And ruins the legacy that they have, really.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about.
What
about Jardim?
Leonardo Jardim? No.
No?
I don't know. The former Monaco manager?
Yeah.
Would you take him?
I'm not sure. I'm just so lost.
He again had the recruitment that he had was brilliant. The director of football.
Moby Sherlock says Gasparini from Atalanta.
Isn't he about 80?
Yeah.
I actually saw the other day Trapattoni.
He's suddenly shot up to the top of the odds. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
He's actually 80. He's 82.
He's 82. I don't have too long to remember, but he was linked with us when Hoddle got sacked.
Was I even alive? What year was that?
Hoddle got sacked in around 2003. Around that, 2003.
Yeah, I was about 6.
2004, something around then. There's one there. Klinsmann, Nuno Santos.
I mean, if you're losing 4-0 at home to Burnley, that's a no from me. Next.
Yeah, but that's just one game. That's just one game. He's had a good career at Wolves. He's done a good job there.
Yeah, but it's boring football. They are boring.
Yeah.
I don't want someone... someone said to me, Hasenhüttl. I don't want someone that's lost 9-0 twice.
What about the Zagreb manager? Get him out from jail.
Prison break. Season 6.
Prison break, exactly. Rafa Benitez, would you take him?
defensive, not a long-term solution. Need a project manager.
Lucien Favre?
No, that's the former Dortmund guy.
Klinsmann?
You would know more about that than me.
Yeah, I mean, Klinsmann, not for me, man. All right, I think we should start taking some call-ins now. Is there anyone waiting at the moment?
Yeah, but he's not actually there. He's just...
Who is it?
Is he there? Simon? Oh, it's Simon, but
What, Premier Hotspur?
Cohen.
Oh, Simon Cohen. Simon Cohen, if you're there, can you turn your camera on and we can get you on and start the call-ins? We need to... That's your headphones, Slav. But if you want to come on and give your thoughts on who you think should be the next manager and have a conversation with us about it, do click the link in your community section. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We can see Irish Hotspur in the comments saying, give me 2 seconds, 2 minutes, and I'll be on. We'll wait 5 minutes for you, Dave. We'll wait 5 minutes for you. Carl Patrick Vineyard is saying, go for Allegri. OD Gaming saying Gaultier from Lille. I mean, yeah, I would take him as well, but I just don't know why he's going to Nice. It makes no sense to me.
Farmers League over there.
It makes no sense. Where are Nice in the league this year?
Find out.
I mean, because Lille about to win the league, and suddenly he's going to win the league there and just go to Nice. Just makes no sense to me.
Nice are, oh my God, they're 9th.
Why would you go there?
Lens are 5th.
What about Joachim Low?
No, finished. And if you don't put Thomas Müller in your Germany team, no thanks. You'd probably drop Harry Kane.
Yeah, we got a few comments here about Oliver Glasner. This is why he's going, because Nice have an incredibly rich owner, so maybe they'll be a team to watch out for at some point. Who's the Real Betis manager? Someone said the Real Betis manager.
Manuel Pellegrini.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not want Pellegrini. David Moyes? Take David Moyes?
Can you bring Declan Rice and Souček?
You can bring anyone for a price.
No, I don't want David Moyes.
Marcelo Gallardo, the greatest
There's
ever
that.
River Plate manager. All right, let's start getting some people on.
Can you say to Simon, are you ready?
Simon, is he there?
He's at the back end, but I think.
Simon, if
Yeah,
you can
I
hear
him.
us.
I can hear him through here. Hello? Yeah, I can hear him. He's on the headphones.
Alright, we'll get Simon on.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Simon.
All right.
We'll get him to turn his phone on.
Hang on, Ben's just sticking his headphones on.
All right.
All right.
I can't see on the screen. All right, let's get
He can hear you.
let's get Simon on. 1 second.
Oh yeah,
Oh, hi
Okay.
Simon. How you doing, mate?
not too bad, Ben. Slav, how you both doing?
Not too
Yeah,
bad,
good.
thank you.
Thanks. Good. Thanks.
Yeah, good.
What's your feelings on the new manager?
Well, I think it's going to be Ten Hag
Is that the
by
one
the sound of it. Well, in an ideal world, I'd like to see either Conte or Simone, but that's not going to happen, is it?
In terms
Yeah.
of Conte and Simone, though, would you be happy with the football they play? You know, they both play quite kind of pragmatic and defensive football.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I get that, but looking at Inter Milan, they're going to win. They're going to win the league, and Atletico Madrid are going to win the league. So
But he's
pretty
been backed heavily over into Conte. They've
Yeah,
spent
I
a
know,
lot of
I
money.
know. So we're looking at like a yes man to come in again, aren't we? You can work with leaving, say yes to everything, say yes to what, everything he everything he wants to be yes. But I think the whole thing I've been saying many a time, it's a complete mess. We just need to get these Levy and ENIC out, and with Joe Lewis out, and get new owners in, and just sort it all out. If we're going to get another manager in, it's going to be the same old next season, isn't it? He's not going to get back.
So do you feel it's a bit irrelevant then who we actually get in as manager until there's a big change at the top?
That's what I mean. You might as well just leave Mason in. Yeah, let's give Mason a go. I know he's got no experience, but just give him a go. and so we can sort out this ownership situation. That's the most pressing thing at the moment is the ownership.
Yeah,
As you know, with the
completely
Enix
agree.
situation, and they need to go. We just need to get that sorted out, get new people in at the top, and then go from there. But like I said, whoever comes in manager wise, I can't see it changing next season, Ben. I really can't, because they're not going to get backed, are they? So where are we going to be this time next season? We're going round and round in bloody circles all the time. It's the owner, Lewis and Levy have just 20 odd years with them two in charge. It's just one trophy in 20 years. I feel sorry for my son who's 34 and he's only seen one trophy.
Yeah.
And
I know exactly how he feels. I know exactly how he feels.
Like it says, I was born in the 1957. I'm 63 now, so I must admit I've seen quite a few trophies won by Spurs. Obviously, nothing since the last 13 years, so it has been hard. But I'm one of the lucky ones. I have seen quite a few trophies come through the door. From the 60s right through up to 91 and the last League Cup. But at the moment, the last 13 odd years, 20 odd years, with these clowns in charge, well, whoever comes in manager-wise, what's going to change?
Yeah,
Ben?
I mean, it's hard to disagree with you, Simon. I think you're absolutely spot on, mate.
You need to get these clowns out. I'm fed up with these two idiots running the club. They've underachieved. All right, great having a wonderful stadium and a training ground, brilliant. But come on, sort this blasted team out for once. We should be, winning trophies by now. It's been too long now. We're just going nowhere, going backwards.
Yeah.
No. And the new manager's going to make a new manager. Whoever comes in, it's going to be Ten Hag. I've got a feeling it's going to be him. Nothing's going to change next season. Nothing. Can you see whoever comes in? Are they going to make a big difference with them clowns in charge?
No, I completely agree. I think whoever comes in, not only do they have a massive job on their hands, are they going to get backed? Are they going to clear out the
No,
deadwood?
they won't get backed. It's another 5-year rebuild. I'll be 70 nearly. But how many more rebuilds do we need? This should have been done a long time ago. Should have backed Pochettino,
exactly.
give them the money. We had a bloody good side, excuse my French, we had a very good side in the last season, White Hart Lane. Just needed to be back then. And I reckon we could have won the Champions League against Liverpool.
No, absolutely. I
It's gone
couldn't agree more.
backwards. It's gone backwards.
We stood still as everyone else took 2 steps forward.
I know. All he's concerned about Lady Gaga coming in and the NFL coming in and blah 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 blah. And they're not worried about the football team. That's why.
Simon, it said it all. It said it all when he sacks Jose Mourinho. Whatever you think about Jose Mourinho,
yeah.
It says it all when he sacks him 6 days before a cup final just to save a few quid.
Well, it was going to end in tears, Ben. Come on, let's be frank. Jose Mourinho coming. It was going to end in tears within 2 years. Let's be frank about it. It wasn't going to work, was it?
I'm not doubting that. But what I'm saying is that when you bring Jose Mourinho in, you don't sack him 6 days before a cup final. You sack him after the cup final. Yeah,
I agree, Ben. I really do. They should have left the bloke. I'm not saying Mourinho. More chance of winning it with him in charge than Mason in charge, but he didn't get the chance. So. Obviously he wanted to sack him in case we won the cup because it would have cost more to get rid of him at the end of the season, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
So it's all about money. It's all money. It's all about money with Levy and that lot. It's all about money.
Absolutely.
All I want to do is win trophies. Like I said, I feel so disappointed for the youngsters these days because you're in your 30s, you two.
I'm 31. I'm 31.
I'm in my early 20s still.
I started seeing trophies coming, 30s and I was in my 30s and 40s. But at the moment, can you see anything? Can you see Spurs win anything in the next 5 years or so?
I can't. I tell you the truth. I can't.
I feel sorry. Like I said before, I go. I feel sorry for you youngsters. Seeing this dross week in and week. Not even putting up a performance against Manchester City the weekend. I could have played in goal for Manchester City and had nothing to do.
Yeah,
you're not wrong, didn't it?
You're not
and
wrong.
takes Lucas Moura off, and Lo Celso off, and brings the Stoke on. Jesus Christ, what is going on with this club?
Simon, just before I let you go, if we do get Ten Hag in this summer, what do you think his reaction will be to Lucas Moura first day of training?
He probably want to get. I don't know. Well, like I said, thinking about it, I think I'd still like to see Lucas Moura at the club next season. I think he's one of our better players. They just don't know why didn't keep him on on Sunday. Let him play the whole game because you know it was our best forward out there,
Because
and taking him off and like having Weeks playing for 90 minutes. You know what's going on? It's pathetic.
I think Son should have come off. I
Yeah,
think
I
the
agree.
manager.
Well,
You've got
Son could have,
to
you know,
be a good
exactly.
manager,
Son
you've got
could
to
have
make big
come off.
decisions, and he was
I
terrible, and
just,
he should have come off.
I just terrible. Anyway, I wish you luck with your ENIC. When are you doing it? On the what date are you doing this ENIC
There's a
out
big
thing
one.
again?
There's a big one on the 15th. Will you be there, Simon?
I might turn up, get my frustration out because I'm really getting sick and tired of the way this club's going. All I'm thinking about now is Arsenal going through to the final of the UEFA Cup and winning it.
No. Come on.
That
We're
could
all
happen,
Unai
couldn't it?
Emery.
It could
We're all
happen.
Unai Emery fans tonight.
Well, I'll be watching that tonight, praying to God Arsenal don't win tonight. Because the last thing I want to do is sit and get through to the final and winning it. Because we won't be the last of it, will we?
Exactly.
All right, mate. Listen, I'll let you get on with the other people.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling in, Simon, mate.
You take care. Thanks for all the hard work you do. You do a wonderful job, you lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank
Okay,
you.
I'll speak to you soon. Take care, boys. All
See
the
you later,
best.
mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I think we're just going to have to go off air for 10 seconds.
I'm just going to see if I can disconnect the socket.
There's a problem.
I've restarted this. Now there's 3 people waiting. So
All right, so there was a problem with Rendezvous. So if you guys can't get through, do try again now because it's working now. We just had a bit of a hiccup with it. We've got some people waiting in the back end. Who are we bringing on next?
just give me a minute to.
But Simon was not a happy bunny, was he?
No, he was not
I
happy.
mean, look, I think he was feeling how the majority of Spurs fans feel at the moment. To be fair, he was saying what we're all thinking.
Just everyone's just a little bit. I think everyone's just a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
Just no one really. I don't think anyone, even the people at the top of the club, know which direction we're going in.
That's the thing, because usually when we sack a manager, we've got a plan. It seems as though this time we've completely sacked Jose with no plan whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what direction we're going in. I don't know what is this? What is the plan? Is the plan to challenge for the top 4? Is it to challenge for the league?
The plan is got nothing. Their plan has nothing to do with what happens on a football pitch.
It's whoever's going to pay them the most to perform in the stadium
their
next
plan
summer.
is to make as much money as possible. Nothing to do with what happens on a football pitch. I mean, as long as they get kind of that Champions League revenue, that's what they want. And they want as much money coming through that stadium, as much money coming from anything else that they can make. And they don't care what happens on that football pitch. And they prove that by sacking Jose Mourinho 6 days before a final.
Yeah.
And they prove that. Let's get the Irish Hotspur on. Big up yourself, David Harris, back in Ireland. How you doing, my friend?
All good, lad. The first thing I done when I got home is made the old lad apologise to me for putting me through this lifetime of pain.
And did he?
Yeah, he did, to be fair. He just said, look, sorry, son, I didn't realise it was going to be like this, so...
Look, Dave, a lot of names being branded about at the moment in terms of who our next manager is. First of all, does it even matter at the moment who our next manager is?
No, look, that's what I wanted to come on and say, because, look, it doesn't matter who you bring in. You can bring in a defensive coach, you can bring in an attacking coach. These players aren't going to play whatever way they're instructed to play. We've seen this time and time again over the last 2.5 years. You give them the instructions. Pochettino gave them attacking instructions, couldn't carry it out. Mourinho gave them defensive instructions, could not carry it out. So it doesn't matter who you bring in until this squad, and I've maintained this all the way throughout Jose Mourinho's tenure, no matter who you bring in, it doesn't matter until this squad is rotated. When you have a squad of players who, A, can't do the basics, which is control, pass the ball and move. It's the basics of football. Spurs invented it, push and run. Do you know what I mean? Spurs invented that type of football, and they can't even do that. And then when you have players who ultimately have the power, they got Pochettino sacked, they got Mourinho sacked. And when you have a core group of players who have been here too long and hold the power, it doesn't matter who's going to come in, because everyone was calling for, a daddy figure to come in and slap them on the arse and tell them how good they are and everything else. Doesn't matter. You're still not going to get any better out of this crop of players. So for me, it's a poison chalice. It doesn't matter who comes in. Levy and ENIC should never have sacked Jose unless they had a plan in place. Why would you sack a manager when you don't know who you're going to come in next? Now we're just putting names out there and trying to see who bites.
Answer to that, Dave. I think you know the exact answer to that. Why they sacked Jose Mourinho?
Yeah, they sacked him obviously because it was the cheapest time to do it. It was the cheapest time to do it. Yeah. But the thing is, what about us fans who put so much into this club, invest so much of our time, blood, sweat, and tears, and like obviously, we don't have to, but we do because we love this club. Yeah. We love it, and for them to just do this to us, not like the worldwide fan base, and to the club that we adore and we love, it's just ridiculous, and it's time to go. I want everybody over there on the 15th. I am going to try and get back over myself because I want to play my part. I want to get these fuckers out. I've had enough of them. You do not sack a manager when you don't know what direction you want to go in, because now they're in a situation, if they want a manager from a club, they're going to have to pay over the odds. If not, we're looking around for someone who's going to be free and to come in, and they're not going to be the answer either. So, no matter what happens, this is all on the board. That's it. That's all I can say.
But Dave, back when we hired Pochettino, we were in a bit of a similar situation, weren't we? We had a lot of poisonous players at the club. Poch came in under Daniel Levy and Enoch's tenure, got them all out, got some players he wanted in. Do you think that's still possible to do in this current climate?
Yeah, look, that's another thing I've been saying, Ben. That no matter what manager has to come in, has to be allowed to clear 8-9 players out of this squad and bring in his own players. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Personally, I don't. I think Levy has been attached to this squad. It's got a lot of English players in it, a couple of homegrown players in it. I think, personally, Daniel Levy is attached to this squad and he doesn't want to see some of these players go. That's just my opinion. But, we've accumulated too much deadwood. Sissoko, Lamela, players like that as well. Davies, Winks, Dyer. Okay, Dyer had a good game at the weekend, but that's about all we've seen from him in his Spurs shirt, apart from his goal against Arsenal. For me, there's way too much deadwood, and the players carry the power. And until this big rotation that Pochettino is allowed to do happens, we're not going to see any results or any benefits from on the pitch. In terms of manager, I would actually be looking to bring in an experienced manager with a know-how, because I firmly believe, people can call me mad, whatever. If we didn't have Mourinho this season, I think we would have been way further down the table, if I'm honest, because with him being able to switch things up and not play in one style and not position in one style, switch formations, everything else, I actually firmly believe that that's helped us this season.
I disagree with that.
You disagree, go on?
I think we are where we deserve to be in the league. I think we're where we are in the league simply because of Harry Kane. That's just plain and simple.
But do you not think that Jose Mourinho got the best out of Harry Kane?
Yeah, but do I think Harry Kane would have scored the same amount of goals and got the same amount of assists with someone else in charge? Most probably. It's
hard to say, isn't it? Because this is Harry Kane's best ever season. Jose Mourinho is his manager, and it seems as though Jose did get the best out of Harry Kane. I don't know what you think about that, Dave.
Yeah, look, for me, I do think he's got the best out of Harry Kane. What we've seen from what we were describing of Harry Kane before this season is that he's a clinical finisher. He's clinical, he's great at finishing. But this season, in my opinion, is Mourinho has given him a position to drop further back in a couple of years' time, maybe, into a creative role, more or less a De Bruyne role, where he can pick passes left, right, straight over the top. So for me, I do think he's got the best. I think he's made Harry Kane a more complete footballer all around, in my opinion. And same with Son. I think he's done very. I think Son's obviously not of late, but I think Son's had a good campaign on the whole of it, to be honest with you. And just my thinking is when we stuck to the same way under Pochettino, we were 14th when we sacked him. And that's why I firmly believe we need an old wily dog to come in with the know-how of the game, the nous to be able to switch things up. Because I genuinely believe with this group of players, you cannot play football. We cannot play football with this group of players.
No,
when you take 3 touches to get it under control, when you can't pass the ball to the same man in a white shirt, when you can't pass through the lines because you're not brave enough, when you're not brave enough to get on the ball and run it out when you're in trouble. We just do not have the players to play any sort of attacking way whatsoever right now.
I agree. I think some of them are so bad at the basics. It's kind of worrying how they've even got to where. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's ability. You see, I've never seen central midfielders either hide from the ball so much or be so negative and so unrisky with whatever the word is for the opposite of risk. Yeah,
Slav, it's not a confidence thing. It's a mental thing with these players. It's a mental thing. It's definitely not a confidence thing.
I don't know, there are players like Harry Winks who, whilst he might not be the answer to us, I would be happy to see the back of him. I do think that's a confidence thing with him. The one thing he was good at was picking the ball up and just playing a simple pass or driving into space. But on what you said about Levy, I think, and being attached to the squad. I don't think he's attached to the squad. I think he's trying to get more money for these players than they're actually worth. If you think about how much we spent for Moussa Sissoko, how much do you reckon people are going to give for him? And how much do you reckon Levy will want for him?
Yeah, but I think in terms of
a French international with 3 years left on his contract.
I was saying, in terms of attached to the squad, look at someone like Dele Alli, for instance. You know, Jose Mourinho wanted Dele out.
Snoop Dogg now he is with his hair.
Yeah, exactly, literally. I'm going to start calling him Snoop Dogg or Bob Marley. You know what I mean? He's starting to grow dreadlocks. Maybe he's smoking the good stuff behind the screen as well.
He's been spending a lot of time with AJ Tracy.
But in terms of Dele Alli, Jose Mourinho wanted him out. Yeah, so why not listen to your manager and get him the squad he wants? Get the players out he wants to get out, instead of letting them fester within the squad and create a bad feeling within the squad. Why?
Yeah,
why is he keeping him there? Makes no sense to me.
That's what I don't understand, and that's why I believe Levy is attached to this current group of players. But if that's the case, you know what I mean, instead of hiding behind fucking in the boardroom or hiding behind a little camera or a little tweet that's put out, get your fucking suit on and get down to the dugout and manage them yourself if you think you can fucking do better. That's my opinion on it, because he's absolutely ruining this club. I've had it up to here now. I can't take this anymore with this shithead. Honestly, he's pissing me off. Like, he can sit there and say, "Oh, I've done all this for the club. I've done all that." I couldn't give a flying fuck right now. I really couldn't. At the end of the day, you know, produce the players on the pitch to be able to go and win us trophies. That dickhead would rather sell us a Carabao Cup finalist mug for £8 rather than deliver the players on the pitch to actually challenge to lift the trophy.
No, I completely agree. Before you said, you know, we've done this, done that for the club. Done what for the club? We've got nothing to show for it. All these top players they've got nothing, and absolutely nothing to show for it. You don't get a medal, a winner's medal for finishing second. You don't get a winner's medal for losing cup final after cup final, semi final after semi final. You will be remembered for losing, not winning.
Who are you talking about?
Delhi and
lads, this is why Tottenham is always remembered. Like, this is why us Spurs fans, like, especially some of us newer generation Spurs fans, only, you know, get good days out, and that's all we remember is the good days out, because we never turn up to win it. We never do. Anytime, we haven't scored in the last 4 cup finals.
There you go.
We haven't scored 1 goal. We just don't turn up. And for me, I think even though you bring in your manager, you have to allow him to clear out 8, 9 players. You have to let him bring in what players he wants to bring in to be able to play his philosophy. Don't give him players and then say, "Oh, go and do your philosophy," because it's not the way football works. You know, football has gone, it's gone too mad nowadays. Like, I get it, Daniel Levy, Enoch, Tavistock, they're an investment firm, so they only invest in things that they think they're going to be able to make a profit on. But I couldn't give a shit anymore. They have to realise it's a football club. People get involved in football to win trophies, and that's it. They don't get involved for anything else. They pick their football club because they believe, you know, they're going to win trophies and they want to see them compete for the very best. So, like, literally, Enoch now either have to step up or sell the club, one or the other. And I do firmly believe if we do put the pressure on them to sell, I actually do firmly believe they will sell it to an owner that has Tottenham's best interest at heart. That's just my belief.
Jeff Bezos, hopefully.
Yeah, the thing is, though, like, what owner does have Tottenham's best interest at heart? Because when you're going to bring in a new owner, surely they're going to want to come in and make loads of money. I mean, unless they're a proper, real Tottenham fan. You know what I mean? Like, who's going to come in and
let's get AJ Tracy, you know, Adele, a few of them. They're all Tottenham fans. You know, Wiley. Why not get them involved? Get them to put some of their money together. Yourself and Sim, Grandpa, you know, all you throw a bit of money in. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can take this club and give it back to the fans.
Ben's gonna sell all his belongings, the flat,
I'm gonna sell Simeon in terms. Right? I'm gonna sell Simeon so I can get on the board at Tottenham Hotspur. That's what's gonna happen.
I tell you what, we should start doing a GoFundMe here.
Yeah, we should start doing a GoFundMe.
No, we literally should. We literally should start GoFundMe. I'm telling you now, the amount of people around the world that put money in to try and get this club back and take it to glory days.
But give me a manager's name. Come on, Dave.
I was about to say, look, if you can, we've given a list of 8, which, let's be real, it's going to be one of those 8, isn't it? So who's your pick?
Well, don't tell me who you want. Tell me who you think it's going to be.
I heard you say Trapattoni. Now, lads, trust me. I've had him for Ireland. If we thought Mourinho was defensive, this guy's worse. We do not want him as Spurs manager. Trust me, I've had to sit through enough pain with that guy. For me, I would actually probably take Brendan Rodgers, even though we can't get Brendan Rodgers now. So I think Ten Hag is probably the best option in terms of a manager that probably will want to come to Tottenham. He can bring some of that Ajax philosophy with him. Hopefully set up a whole infrastructure like Ajax do and play the same way right through the academies from under sevens, whatever it is, all the way through to the senior team, so that when they step into the senior team, they're ready, they know what way we're going to play. For me, that's what we should do, because honestly, I don't want that fraud Gareth Southgate. He can't even get Sancho, Kane, players like that, you know what I mean, or, you know, Sterling, Rashford, all them sort of players to go and win a Euros or a World Cup or anything like that. I definitely don't want him at Tottenham. He's a better squad at England, and he can't even do that with them, so I definitely don't want him at Tottenham. He's a fraud. In fact, the only reason why Levy wants Gareth Southgate is he knows, right, that Gareth Southgate is a yes man. He's a lick arse. He's going to do exactly what Levy tells him to do, and he's not going to speak out of turn. You see him do it with England, he's going to do the exact same with Tottenham, and that's why Daniel Levy will want him, because there'll be no negative press coming out of Tottenham, and that's the only reason, is because Gareth lick arse Southgate. That's why.
Yep, 100% spot on, and that is exactly why I don't want Southgate. I mean, first of all, he's a terrible manager. And if he comes to Tottenham, I swear, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do if Gareth Southgate comes to Tottenham. But in terms of what you said about lick-ass Gareth Southgate, I think that's absolutely spot on, Dave. But look, Dave, absolute pleasure getting you on as always. Legend. And we'll speak to you next time, man.
Yeah, 100%. And thanks for the watch-along, lads. I really had a great weekend. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the watch-along went well. It was good watch-along. So thanks very much for having me and giving me the opportunity to play my part in the cup final.
Yeah, it was really good to meet you.
It's a shame we couldn't celebrate a goal.
Yeah, it's a shame. There was no goals to celebrate, because I think that place would have popped off if we would have scored a goal, wouldn't it, Dave?
To be honest with you, your man's lucky there wasn't a goal, because I probably would have ran around and turned every table upside down if he scored.
That would have been great viewing on YouTube, that's for sure.
100%. People would have went mad. But honestly, lads, thank you so much for having me. Thanks for having me on. It was nice to meet everybody over there, I have to say. Everyone, you know, welcomed me with open arms. And I can only appreciate it. And big up Slav today as well, by the way, for stepping in. You know what I mean? He's doing a good job. So thanks, lads.
Thank you very much.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs, Dave. We look forward to seeing you on the 15th as well. So come on. We've got a super chat here from Martin Mycroft saying, Eric Ten Hag for me. A Spurs rebuild starts with getting our on-pitch identity back, and his style of play would fit us like a glove.
I'm telling you, I'm pretty excited to see Moussa Sissoko try one-touch football around the edge of his box.
Sissoko ain't going to last past this summer.
I'm excited. I thought, could you imagine?
He ain't lasting.
Could you imagine Sissoko playing just Latiki, and then we get to the edge of the box, and he's been coached so well, he tucks it into the bottom corner.
Yeah, have you not seen him under Pochettino? It's exactly the same thing. He was one of our best players in the latter parts of Pochettino, wasn't he?
What I will say is, whilst we do need a real rebuild, right, what I think people are forgetting, if we can get some of the deadwood in and a young coach in, there are players coming back from loan spells that can play a part. Sessegnon, Skip, Troy Parrott, maybe. So that if we can get some signings in and some utter dross out, then look, we might end up having a decent season, but that remains to be seen who comes in.
All right, so that was Dave. Always absolute pure spitting facts with the Irish Hotspur and Dave when he comes on. We've got a few more people to get through. There's Alex and Sai. Let's keep going. What?
There's a little Arsenal in pain because at the moment it's out of sync. So.
Yeah, just let me know in the comment section below. Is it still out of sync or are we good? Because if it's still out of sync, we're going to restart and just come down for a second. Bring the stream down for a second. One comment says there's a lag.
We'll have to be like a minute. It'll be 1 minute if everyone can just bear with us.
All right, if everyone can just bear with us for 1 minute, we're just going to go offline, try sort out this lag and come back on. Yeah.
Those are some seriously noise cancelling headphones.
All right, what's going on, guys? We are Tottenham TV. We are back. Sorry about that, but Daniel Levy was trying to take over our stream today. So if you're not Enoch, if you weren't Enoch out before, you definitely are now for them trying to take down our stream. We've got 530 viewers still, 300 likes. Everyone, please go scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We've got people waiting in the back end to give us their views. I can see Sai there. He's ready. He's ready and raring to go, Sai. Sai still thinks we're going to win the league this season, but let's see what he has to say for himself. Sai, how you doing, my friend?
Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you. We can hear you. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you. Good. You all right, Slav?
Hey, mate. How are you?
Good, my friend. Hopefully we'll get to see you at the stadium soon.
Yeah. Sai, you going to come down on the 15th?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was raring to go on Sunday, but I didn't realise that there was no one would turn up, so it'd probably just be me there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there and done that, so it's actually quite fun by yourself as well. Just stand there, holding up Enoch out banners. It's all good fun.
Yeah, I tell you what, actually, maybe 12 years ago, I went to go to a game and then realised it was the wrong day. So I actually back at the old stadium. That was interesting.
So, managers, Sai, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? Who do you want?
I'll be honest, guys. I'm just generally not excited. Right now, until that man is gone out of the club. To be honest, if it's down to a situation where I have to pick someone, I'd probably be saying Ten Hag out of all of them that are available. Well, it's quite slim pickings as well. That's the problem. I think at the moment it's just there's little option. The one guy that we really probably would have loved to have had and would probably have progressed us and maybe guaranteed some of our superstars staying has obviously gone to Bayern now or about to.
Yeah.
So it's like I say, it's slim pickings. Ten Hag is probably the most ideal candidate in the terms of what he's done at Ajax. I know the Dutch league is a bit different, of course, but in terms of what he's done in Ajax with 2 or 3 arguably separate teams now, developed players as well. Some of them have come across to the Premier League. For me, he kind of ticks those boxes, not as perhaps good as Pochettino in that sense just yet, but he can still maybe test himself in the Premier League. But literally, guys, I'm even that choice isn't exciting me massively. Our hands are a bit tied, to be honest. There's not much we can do about it.
Nice trim, by the way, Sai.
Yeah. Say again.
Nice trim. Nice haircut.
Oh, do you know what? I do it myself now, except this time I put the wrong grade on, so it went a bit short.
Right.
But there we go. That's something I've learned over lockdown, to do it myself. But I mean,
learn something new every lockdown, Sai.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, like there's been some awful names being linked with us.
Can you imagine if we get Southgate? Can you just imagine the backlash for that?
I really like his waistcoats. and that's about it. And
I'm not
maybe
even.
they'll
I don't
start
even like
selling
the way. I
membership
don't.
shops as well with logos on them, and that will probably do well. But other than that, I think like some of these managers that we're linked with are just, it's literally all that's kind of left or available, to be honest. And every one of them will probably love the job because they know how much money they'll try and get out of it. But I got kind of David's point just a minute ago about an experienced manager, but again, I think that's probably the backwards way to do it, because we need someone that has that kind of energy and drive and wants to progress in his career and try and do well and stuff. But yeah, there's a lack of options. I'm majorly not excited about any of them, not necessarily because they're bad managers or anything like this, but until that man's gone in the club, mate, we're not going to progress. He's not going to get the backing. He's not going to get what he needs. Exactly what happened with Pochettino towards the end. Jose, I've always said, if he had his way rather than leave his way, a lot of the players would be gone. The toxic players that I call them. And we may have kicked on with him with his philosophy around his philosophy of what we want to do. We couldn't defend properly. We couldn't attack properly because there's too many players missing and needed replacing that we all know. So for me, nothing's going to change. It doesn't matter who comes in, whether it works for a season or maybe a season and a half. The problem will still come back to haunt us in a couple of seasons' time, and we'll be back to square one again. So
yeah, I mean, I've got a feeling we'll be sitting here in a year's time having the same conversation.
Yeah,
it's about profit, Slav. It's about profit. That's it's the number. It's the bottom line. Yeah. So honestly, they obviously, of course, they hopefully want to aspire to Champions League, but they'll probably be happy with fifth or sixth, provided the number says that it's in black. You know what I mean? It's like that's all they're worried about.
I mean, if Southgate does come in, maybe you sell a few waistcoats in the club shop.
That might be able to fund a centre back.
Yeah, it might be able to.
Or
fund...
if it's Southgate, it would fund a right back.
I mean, it's just going to go around in circles. I'm tired of it. I've tired of it for years. I've said it for years, probably 10 years now. Even in the Harry Redknapp era, like that. There's been some good times. Don't get me wrong. There's been some fantastic players coming through, but there's no point. You may as well go back to the 90s where you had like 2 or 3 handful of players in each team, like Sheringham, Ginola, Klinsmann, all of that lot, and then not worry about the rest of the team and just think that's adequate and acceptable. We've grown since then, and I will give them that in the sense that we've gone from that very low league table side to the middle to now challenging at that top half, or at least the top 6 very regularly.
Yeah.
But when do you draw the line to go, right, when are we actually going to start pushing for this? And I said about the Leicester year many times, that was the summer to do it, the perfect summer to do it. Another season passes, because what happens is we then get a load of money for our position. We get more money for the Champions League. That ticks the boxes. That's all they are worried about. So when we need to get, hey, Daniel, we need a bit more money so we get to the number 1. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maurizio, whoever's in charge, sorry about that, but we've got to look after the pennies. We've got a new stadium coming, blah blah blah. Same excuses, and it will just keep going round and round in circles for more seasons, one after the other, until he's gone. It's literally until he is gone, nothing will change.
I agree, and let's be honest, realistically, is he going anywhere? No. So let me ask you then, who do you want from the list of names we gave? Who do you want in charge to try? I guess
he wants Ten Hag. That's what he wants. He wants Ten Hag.
I just honestly, I don't know who else to pick. I don't like.
No, I agree. It's an underwhelming. It's an underwhelming list.
Mason as manager.
Yeah, I don't like the list, guys. And you can't do anything about it. You can't change the list. I don't like the list.
Maybe we can put ourselves on it.
Yeah, well, anyone. I mean, it's just out of that lot, I would have to pick that. I know I've seen Scott Parker's name and this, that, and the other out and about, and I'm just thinking that's a bit of no disrespect to them, and I'm sure they will be great managers, but at the moment that's kind of like amateur hour again. It's like we need that step up. The managers that we really want, like Guardiola and all this, well, that's no chance, obviously, ever. So you have to balance that a bit. But we're so limited, and the other question really is not a question of actually who we want. What on earth manager is going to come to this club knowing who's there?
Only
You
a
know,
yes
they
man.
probably
Only
know
a yes man will
that
come right now.
it's yes man and people who love the money and happy to just do it for 2-3 years and arguably potentially prepared to ruin their career by joining us as a manager. That's basically the three options that they've got. It's I don't know what to
Who do
say.
you genuinely think Levy will go with?
Who will he actually go with? Probably Ryan Mason, because he's massive. He's there already. He's cheap. He already says yes to everything. That's probably. I would not be surprised if that happened. I'm telling you. But let's be a bit realistic. Let's hope there's a bit of faith in this club still, a tiny bit. But he could probably go for the likes of Scott Parker, Southgate, maybe Parker in the sense that obviously knows Tottenham. But I think Parker's an intelligent guy, and if he's intelligent matches what I think about him, he definitely won't come anywhere near us. But because he wants to progress his career, and if he comes to Tottenham, it will just go downhill. It will be a bad move for him. So how can we be saying this about our club? Yeah, with the nice flashy stadium and where we've been in the last 5 to 10 years of a slight progression. How can we say this about managers of saying that we're actually going to ruin them by coming into our club? You know, we've already destroyed one of the biggest potential managers. We've already destroyed one of the best managers to grace the footballing world. Who's next on that list? Who else wants to put themselves on the guillotine?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole right now.
You're not wrong, Si. Absolutely spot on with everything you said. But Si, absolute pleasure, and look forward to seeing you on the 15th.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs. Let's hope
make sure
do something.
Make sure you get the right day.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Look, absolute facts as always from Si, apart from when he did say we were going to win the quadruple. But let's move on to Eden Cooper. Mr. Eden Cooper, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you guys doing? Okay?
Is that Harry Winks?
No, that's not Harry Winks. That's Eden Cooper.
Yeah, and actually many people tell me that I look a bit like Harry Winks.
Really? I don't really
I also play like midfield, a bit like him. I hope I'm a bit better than him, but yeah, a lot of people.
What, could you not pass forward?
I can definitely.
Look, Eden, a lot of people called up so far with a bit similar stories saying that it doesn't really matter who our manager is under this current ownership. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, one part of me obviously has to say that, because if we look at our last two managers, we've had Poch, who was one of the youngest, most brilliant attacking-minded managers, and we flopped with him because we didn't back him at the right moments, and we had one of the best tacticians of all, and he didn't do anything well. So I think it shows it's for Levy to see and to act that the squad is not good enough, no matter what manager you bring in. Obviously, we're always going to be in the Europa League spots like we're now, I hope, because I think 7th, 6th is our level of our squad.
I don't want to be 6th, though.
I know, but unfortunately, that's the
level
squad.
we're at the moment, isn't it?
The squad, I mean, if you take out Harry Kane and Son, that's the level, I think.
I mean, it's probably lower than that.
Yeah, if you take out Harry Kane and Son.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah. But
if you take out Harry Kane and Son, we probably deserve to be in the Europa Conference League.
Yeah, I know. And seeing the names on the list and who's probably going to come, I can't see Kane staying, honestly. Like, it's so depressing. I mean, go on, finish. Yeah, I was saying, if us fans are kind of depressed, imagine players like Harry Kane, who is so hungry for trophies. Obviously, we are as fans, but him as a player, he's only got let's say 5 years. As fans, we have many years of being fans, but Kane has 5 years, let's say, of winning stuff, and he's stuck at a club where now we have a 29-year-old manager, and probably we're going to get someone like Scott Parker or Potter or then Ten Hag, who I'm not sure if Harry Kane is going to be licking his lips seeing that name. But I don't know.
I will always disagree with people that say Harry Kane's going to leave. I'm sure he wants to leave. Who wouldn't want to leave us right now? I'm convinced he'll be here next year simply because he's got 3 years left on his deal. There's a pandemic.
Yeah, I agree with you, honestly.
I'm sure he wants to leave.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But if he had less years, he'd probably leave. But I think he's stuck with us. And that's probably the saddest thing, if you think about it. Because, yes, we want him. But he's a top professional. But if he's going to be here, sad and everything, he might actually even get worse. But I don't know. I mean, look.
But he doesn't show up when it matters either. He's not. He's not. He
Well, I
deserves
don't know.
criticism as well. Didn't score in any. Hasn't scored in any cup finals. Has he scored in any semi-finals?
Well, he was injured for the Champions League one.
Against Chelsea in 2017, I think he got 2
Scored
goals
a
when we
penalty.
lost 3-2. When Matic scored.
Look, there's no doubting Harry Kane. I'm not going to have anyone doubting Harry Kane because
I'm not doubting him, but he doesn't. But you can't blame the rest of the team.
It's a team
not
game
him.
at the end of the day. It's
Sunday,
it's a team game.
Yeah, but on Sunday he didn't show up either.
No, he didn't. But no one showed up
Exactly.
on Sunday. But you can't just blame Harry Kane. You've got
I'm
to
not.
blame them as a collective at the end
But
of the
people
day.
are going, "Oh, I feel bad for Harry Kane because we don't win trophies." I don't feel bad. He didn't show up when it mattered.
You can't do it on your own, though.
But big players do it on their own.
Cristiano Ronaldo can do it on his own, but I don't think many other Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's not that level, is he? We don't think he's that level. It's a team game, man. You can't. I'm not having that about Harry Kane because he's scored against everyone. He's scored against everyone.
Yeah, I'm not doubting
Barca, Real
him
Madrid.
as a player or anything. He's the best striker in the world of football.
Exactly.
But when it came down to it, when we needed him most, he didn't show up.
Like everyone else. But Eden, who do you think we'll actually go for?
Yeah, I saw like the managers you put in, like let's say that list, and who I think will come is, if I'm being optimist, maybe Ten Hag, because a lot of rumours are cooking up in these days that we're going to have a meeting with him. But I'm not really that inspired with him. I don't know, because he got Ajax to the semi-final, but since then they haven't been that good in Europe. I mean, they got knocked out. And also, they have a different squad now. I mean, even when we played them, yes, they played good football, but at the end of the day,
they battered us
we
in the
knocked
first
them
leg,
out.
didn't they?
Yeah,
They battered us in the first leg.
but at the end of the day, they bottled it. So it's
To
like,
be honest, they battered us for 75 minutes of the second leg as well.
That's true.
yeah, but I think he's not that different to, like, let's say, I don't know, a Poch who came to us and he actually didn't win anything because he won the league there, but come on, that's not it's not like the Premier League. So if I could choose, I would get Allegri, but it's impossible. I know it because here in Italy, everyone's talking about him going back to Juventus, so that's not happening. So in an ideal world, I would get Allegri because I think he's a very experienced manager. He doesn't play great football because I know that for a fact because I've watched a lot of his teams here, Juventus and AC Milan. But
Are you based in Italy, Eden?
Yeah, I live in Italy.
I never knew that. I never knew that. I thought you were.
I'm English, but I live in Italy. Yeah, with
Where in Italy?
in the south Italy.
Oh, awesome, lovely. Must be very nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, Eden. Thanks a lot for coming on, man. I mean, Ten Hag seems as though everyone's kind of first choice at the moment from the kind of slim pickings that we've got. But in terms of a rebuild, everyone's saying we won't get the rebuild that we need and what have you. But when Pochettino first came in, we got a lot of the deadwood out. So do you not think that will happen under a new manager this time round? Oh, he's frozen. He's frozen. All right, sorry about that, Eden. I don't know what's happened to your camera, but we have to keep going.
I'll answer the question if you want. I don't know. I think in the middle of a pandemic as well, people forget who's going to come in and buy players that need. Let's be real. Players like Lamela, Sissoko, Aurier, they've all got. Who's going to come in and pay a good fee for them?
It's true.
For me, I'd get rid of them all for free if I could.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at some point we're going to have to, aren't we? If no one buys them.
Exactly. They've got to go now. Eric Lamella's been here for nearly a decade.
Yeah. There's been too many players there that have been here for way too long.
We signed Eric Lamella when you must have been, you're my age. That's how long he's been here.
We got a super chat here from Josh King. Says, not sure if you've mentioned Ragnick, but he's my pick. If we aren't getting a director of football, as he can juggle both, we need recruiting structure. He has experience of building this. Potter, Ten Hag, if we do get a director of football. What'd you say to that? What'd you say to that, Slav?
I didn't hear what you said. That was someone was.
I said Josh King wants Ragnick.
I heard what you said.
So I'm saying, what'd you say to that?
I agree. I agree with Josh there. I think Ralph Ragnick is the man, either as director of football. I don't think you should bring him in as both. You can't do two jobs.
Yeah, so would you rather him as manager or director of football?
Director of football.
Exactly. I mean, I don't get the people that are saying they want Rangnick as manager, because have you ever seen a Rangnick team play?
I think you said it before. Rangnick director of football, Ten Hag manager would be perfect.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I think I want.
I'd also love players like Dybala and Skriniar and whatever. But
yeah, that would be nice if we had.
I want a lot of
owner.
I want a
if
lot
had
of
a different
things.
owner. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Skriniar was available for 40 million in the summer. Now he's worth 80 million.
I think he was a bit more than 40 in the summer,
Well,
but
about 45. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
it's-
Who do we got on next? We got Kanberk Ubolglu. Sorry if I butchered that name. Very sorry. How do you pronounce your name, my friend?
My name is Can Berk. I am from Istanbul, Turkey. I'm a Spurs fan since, I don't know, I was very little. So, yeah.
What's your feelings around the whole club at the moment?
Sorry?
What's your?
Can you repeat?
I said, what's your feelings around the whole club at the moment?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm disgusted with the whole situation here, because we brought the best manager probably in the world, and we didn't give him the squad. I mean, I was super hyped when we, in the summer when we first talked about Milan Skriniar. Like, I was, we're finally getting a squad that we can win actually something. We are having a great center back. We have Son and Kane already, and instead we bought Joe Rodon, and it was just disgusting. And right now, 6 days before the cup final, something that we actually could have won, but we sacked the manager that we brought for winning the cup. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean,
yeah. And having said that, do you think it even matters who we bring in as our next manager, or are they just going to be ultimately thrown under the bus as well?
No, I'm not blaming Jose for anything, because the problem is the squad, actually. I mean, I'm done with Sissoko, Lamela, Aurier. I mean, like, I don't see the passion that I have. I am from Turkey, Istanbul, but I have the passion. I mean, they don't. I mean, look at Lamela. Yeah, he does great things, but he actually sent off. Anyway, that's the whole summary of his career in Tottenham, actually. So we actually...
And throw in a couple of Rabonas along the way as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just we need to get rid of those players, and we have to get actually some great characters and people who actually wants to achieve something instead of just getting paid.
Yeah,
we need to find. And we definitely need a center back. I mean, I don't think that it will make any difference if we get Allegri, Ten Hag. It doesn't matter. It's the players that play. And Eric Dyer and Sanchez making mistakes that, like, you won't do in the Sunday League. It's just, I mean, like, they're playing in the Premier League in Tottenham, and, like, we have seen Vertonghen, we have seen Alderweireld in his prime, and, like, look at them now. How did we come here? We were the best team, defensive team in the Premier League, and right now we are just like a joke.
I know it's hard for me to gather how that we've gone from literally prime Jan, prime Toby, and prime Rose and Walker,
Moussa Dembele, Wanyama,
to what we got now.
Ericsson. Our problem is we don't replace players.
Exactly.
We have quality players, and then they go, or their contract runs out, or they get old, or whatever happens, and whatever it might be, and then we don't replace them. And people would tell me, "Oh, Lo Celso is Ericsson's replacement." Not a chance. Who's Ndombele's Dembele's replacement? Not a chance. I don't know who on earth Jan Vertonghen's replacement is supposed to be. Bloody Joe Rodon, but it's just laughable, really. Our recruitment is genuinely so poor.
Replacement Serge Aurier,
Kieran Trippier, Matt Doherty, left back replaced Danny Rose replacements, Ben Davis, Reguilon.
Yeah, Reguilon coming this season, but even so, I think Reguilon's second half of the season
has been awful.
It's been shocking.
Sunday he was Sunday he honestly got rinsed all day long. But
he was terrible. He was terrible on Sunday. Like I was just like banging the walls, and like he played in the Europa Cup final. I mean, it's the Carabao Cup. How can you play like that? You know what I mean? Like, it was a mediocre performance from him.
I completely agree. Who would you like to see come in as the new manager next season?
I mean, I'm gonna be biased, Massimiliano Allegri for sure, because
Allegri.
I mean, yeah, for sure, because I mean, Graham Potter, yeah, he's a promising manager, but he's not in this like, I think he's new, he has to learn a lot, and also same with the Scott Parker. I mean, Kane is what 27, and Son is I think 28. I mean, we don't have that much time for a manager to develop. I mean, we have to get the best, and we have to be competitive at least 1 or 2 years. I mean, we don't have much time. Also, with
But
the
we tried
situation with
that.
the Kane, yeah, we tried that, but these players were young. Right now, we have to get results, so we need someone who can actually, on the top of, on the the best. And I mean, Massimiliano Allegri worked with with Ronaldo and with the great players. He knows how to play hard games. He knows what the pressure is from a big club. So, and I think he's a great manager. So yeah, I think we should
Okay.
get him. But I think it's impossible, right? I mean, not impossible, but
let me
really
ask
hard.
you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that bringing in Allegri will provide the same results as bringing in Jose, though?
I mean, it's hard to tell. Like I said, I think the first thing that we should focus on is recruitment for sure.
Yeah.
If you give him Joe Rodon to Allegri, it won't change anything, and we will be in the same spot. Like we need to see some improvements. I mean, also Harry Winks. I mean, we need some bench players as well. I mean, like someone said in the earlier of the stream. I mean, Chelsea is bringing Kovacic to Kante from the bench, and we are bringing Harry Winks. So we definitely need to strengthen the squad first. But yeah, I mean, for manager, yeah, Allegri. I mean, but it won't change anything if we have a mediocre transfer.
I think we need a coach more than a manager. We need these players to be coached again.
Yeah, I mean, we need these players out the door. Never mind to be.
But some of the ones that have promise, Reguilon, and Ndombele, Lo Celso, players that won't be going. Hopefully, Kane, Son, whoever etc. Bergwijn. Get a coach to coach them. They are young players. Steven Bergwijn hasn't scored a single goal all season.
Yeah.
His last season in the Eredivisie, he got something like 26 goals and assists for a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And now he can't.
Yeah.
He actually
Can't
hasn't
hit a
scored a
barn
single
door
goal
right now.
Literally. So we need a coach to come in and coach these players.
Let me ask you this as well. Let me ask you this. You say you want Allegri, but who do you actually think that we're going to get?
Ten Hag probably.
You think Ten Hag is the one?
Yeah, because
You happy with that?
He, I mean, in this situation, yeah, but we have to, because I mean, he has been in semifinals. I mean, that's something, and he wants to, he's willing to come to Tottenham. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna get Guardiola or Klopp. I mean, there's
really?
no manager that. I mean,
Are you sure?
I mean, what you mean by sure?
I
He's
think maybe
joking.
Pep might want to come.
Yeah. I mean, like a manager that's his caliber doesn't want to come to Tottenham.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So Ten Hag is one of the best we can get. So yeah, we should get. I mean, we will get it, even though I want Allegri.
All right. Well,
Levy is a massive problem, I think, as well. Just before, I think
Levy
none of these. No, wait. None of
Levy
these
is
managers.
not a massive problem.
No.
He is the biggest problem.
None of these managers want to work under Levy. That's every time you read this, a manager rejects it because they don't want to work under Levy.
Yeah.
There's no other reason.
And as the managers go by, as the managers get burned, it's going to be less and less managers to pick from.
Yep. The short list is only going to get. The short list is only going to get shorter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though I wasn't in the London, I was like in the social media, like posting Inik out. I don't want Levy.
I want to see you in London on the 15th. Come on, get over here.
I have to get visa, but yeah, I will try.
Yeah, do try. But look, thank you very much for coming on. Very good call. And I want to welcome you to the We Are Tottenham family. Thanks for getting a membership.
Thank you very much.
And we welcome you with open arms.
Thank you very much. See you guys. I enjoyed it.
very
And
much.
also, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Nice one. We've got a super chat here from Brandon Sebastian. Oh, I've just lost it there for a second. 1 second. It says, I think we all know it doesn't matter who we bring in until Enoch is out. What sponsors do we need to boycott? The ESL was a clear FU to the fans and game. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with that, and I think I agree with it wholeheartedly. The sponsors that we need to boycott, AIA, Nike.
Yeah, the red sponsor on our white kit.
Cadbury's, Dulux again.
I painted
Just
my house the other day with Dulux. Dulux dog's
we
quite
need to-
cute, though.
and there are many more as well. So do go over to the Tottenham website. Go and see.
Cinch is the newest one.
Cinch, yeah, that's one. Go and look at the sponsorship page, and go and look at all their tweets, and just type hashtag ENIC out on every single one of their tweets, and just spam.
As Simon Cohen said
Spam.
earlier, let's all just boycott Lady Gaga at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Nobody go to Lady Gaga.
Another super chat here from Babak saying Mourinho is better than Allegri. So how is he going to help?
I kind of agree. I don't know if he's necessarily better. I think Mourinho is finished in the modern day game, but I think employing Allegri is just ridiculous. Like, whilst I wouldn't, complain, maybe not complain. Whilst I wouldn't moan, I just think it's pointless. What's the point? You might as well just kept Jose and bought the players he wants instead of.
All right, we've got another super chat here from Gregcellent saying Ten Hag. All right, third time lucky. Sorry about that. We are back. As soon as I started talking about ENIC out and the sponsors, we seem to have gone down. So maybe Levy and the sponsors really are watching our stream. But as I was saying, go over to the sponsors: Cadbury's, AIA, Nike, Dulux, Cinch, whoever you want. Yeah, all of them. Just go over to all of them and go look at their tweets and spam ENIC out in every single one of their tweets. We've got to keep going. We've got to get our voices heard. And I want to see all of you there with us on the 15th of May to protest. I want to see a big protest. I want to emulate that Arsenal protest. I want to emulate that Chelsea protest. We need to all come together to get these monstrosities out our club. But let's keep going. We've got Alex Samuels. Alex, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys? No?
I can't hear him.
Hello?
Alex, are you there?
Hello?
I can see you're there, but I can't hear you.
There we
I
go.
can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Hello? Is that
Yeah,
better?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Alex.
Hello?
15th of May. You going to come?
It's just after I have my dissertation in, so it might. I don't know. Not a bad way to celebrate, though. Actually,
There are things more important than presentations in this day and age.
No, he said dissertation.
Oh, dissertation.
And I'm doing mine at the moment, so I feel you.
But yeah, I hope to be there. I do hope to be there if I can maybe find a way to get there, perhaps, because it's a long way from Reading, where my uni is. So yeah, but no, I hope to see loads of people there. We've got to emulate the Arsenal protest and the Chelsea one, and we really just need to. Things have to change. I'm so sick and tired of it. I feel this whole Mangiel discussion just kind of like, what's the point, really? What is the point? Because nothing's going. I mean, I know everyone's been. I'm not saying anything new, but it just feels like until we get the players, which you mentioned, like your Lamellas and Auriers and Sissoko's out, until we get them out the door, the Deadwood, what is actually going to change?
Nothing.
And for that reason, exactly, we can bring in Ten Hag or Ragnarik and whoever you want, but exactly the football might get a bit better for a bit, but we'll be back where we'll be having this conversation in a year's time, won't we? So
exactly. I think if the squad it barely changes between now and next year, we'll be sitting here having the same conversation, wondering who's going to be our manager for the following season. And I think there is also no point getting rid of all these players if the recruitment's poor. The recruitment is so poor, and it has been for a very long time, even back in the Poch days. Players like Clinton and G, George Kevin and Kudu. And we begged West Brom for Saido Berahino as well for a long period of time. Janssen. The list just goes on and on and on. And Matt Doherty's another. Like I said, this goes on, and a lot needs to change, and it starts at the top and it goes all the way down to the bottom.
100%.
I don't know who. Let's say this summer some of the Dross do leave. Who would you like to see come in?
I mean, look, people have said this as well, but it's not a bad bunch per se, but it's like you're not picking from. You're not picking from the top quality level managers who, you know, the fans would get really excited about. I mean, there's only really one there. That's probably Ten Hag, who I think we will end up with, unless he's just using us for a new contract at Ajax, which would be very embarrassing. So I really hope that's not the case.
That would be
very,
so classic
very
Tottenham, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So look, I just think that it probably is going to be Ten Hag, in my opinion. And if that happens, and we do get some of the Deadwood out, then we hope so. But who's going to actually be buying them? Because no one's got. I mean, maybe 5 years ago, you could say, you know, someone would take a punt on like you know, buy Janssen for, I think they bought him back from us for like 9 million or something like that. Oh, he went to someone, and you know, but that's not going to happen anymore because people aren't taking those sorts of punts. No one's going to be looking to spend 20 million on Serge Aurier or, you know, Sissoko with a 3-year deal still left. So I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to raise funds.
His deal?
Yeah.
What the? Who signed off on that?
He signed a new contract, didn't he? And he's
when
a
we
French
signed that
international
contract
as well.
Yeah, when he signed the contract, I was just wondering what was going through our
And
heads.
with 3 years left of his deal, you just know Levy's going to, for a man who still gets into the French starting 11, you know Levy's going to ask for a big sum for someone with 3 years left in his contract starting for the world champions. I'm sorry.
He had one good season at Tottenham.
I wouldn't even say that. He had a good spell where he was surrounded by quality players in a good system.
I think it does a bit of a disservice for Sissoko because I think he's had a good couple of years at Spurs, but I think that his time at Spurs is now come and gone, and I think that the physicality that he did provide us on the pitch, I don't think he can provide us with that anymore. Yeah,
you see the him coming off the bench in these games to provide that physicality, and you know he doesn't track the runs anymore. He doesn't. When was the last time you saw a Moussa Sissoko surging run?
Probably a year and a half ago.
Exactly. Unless Alex
used to be his trademark.
Exactly.
That used to be his trademark thing.
Exactly.
And everyone would go, oh, yeah, and that's why fans used to get excited when he was playing, especially in the that Champions League season on that good run to the final. You know, I remember loads of times where he was unplayable at times in that season, but I mean, then you put him on like it must have been a 4 or 5 year contract at the age of 29, I think it was, or something like that. And
yeah,
it's
too easy to get a contract.
It just reeks of poor decision making for years and years and years, and until this is a thing. Daniel Levy, when he put Jose Mourinho on a contract and brought him in, sacked a extremely popular manager of the fans. What happened is he put his reputation on the line. He put his neck on the chopping block, and in my opinion, in business, when you make those sorts of massive decisions, and they, sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't, but you need someone to take actual responsibility, and jobs need to be lost at the end of the day, because if you're making that decision, then I'm sorry, it hasn't worked out. It was your call. You've got to go. I'm speaking obviously fantasy though, because at football clubs that's not really how it works. It works. The owners are the owners, and Daniel Levy himself, as a chairman, has shares in the club, so he's not going to sack himself, so it's very difficult. And all we can do as fans is just we got to make our voices heard, because I'm so sick and tired of it. I haven't met one Tottenham fan recently whatsoever who's actually defending ENIC at this point, because I do not see the defense. If you're constantly getting these decisions wrong every single time, we've had, of all the managerial appointments they've made, 2 have maybe worked out. Harry Redknapp, potentially, obviously Pochettino, Ramos maybe.
No, I wouldn't say Ramos.
Say Martin.
First of all, Ramos, he come in, he won the cup for us, and then they sold Robbie Keane and Dimitar Berbatov, completely threw him under the bus, brought in Fraser Campbell and Pavlyuchenko. I mean, they completely threw him under the bus. But for me, the 3 managers that have worked out under their tenure was Redknapp, Pochettino, and Martin Jol.
None of which, by the way, were first choice managers.
Yeah. which is true.
Yeah. But look, their record is just terrible, and I don't have any confidence that maybe they will make the right decision. I don't know what they do want is an attacking minded coach, but we're just starting from scratch. I thought we're meant to be 5 years into a project now, a project that Mourinho was meant to be an extension of that project. And if we're starting again, I say we just got to start from scratch, to be honest.
Alex, have you ever been part of this fan base when it's been so disillusioned?
No, and it's such a shame because from 2010 onwards, things have been getting much better and better over time. Slight dips of Villas-Boas and other instances, but things have been ramping up to a point where you could see the direction we were going in. We're getting bigger and bigger as a club, and things are really progressing. And now it's like all of that's gone. All the work put in is just disappeared, and
they've reversed
the
all the
fans
good that they've done, haven't they? Reversed all
exactly. And the fan base, if there's one good thing, it's that the fan base is at the moment united, like we weren't for the past year or so, united saying ENIC out. And I haven't met anyone who has put a good argument as to why not. Anyone who has actually mentioned an argument why ENIC should stay, or the current executive board at the club.
I mean, the only argument I've seen, Alex, is when people say, well, look where we were when ENIC took us over and look where we are now. That's the only argument I've seen.
That is a terrible argument, because we're a football club, not a business, first of all, and things are relative, aren't they? If you struck gold and you get Pochettino, diamond in the rough, brilliant luck as an appointment. What you're meant to do then is keep building and building. If you do that, you don't just let it all go to waste. The summer of 2018 was just criminal. It was absolutely criminal how we didn't bring anyone in that summer. For 500 days, we stood still, and everyone else took 2 steps forward. And that
cost Poch his job at the end of the day, I think.
Of course it did.
It did.
Of course it did.
And I think that ENIC owned, was it AEK Athens before they owned us, I think it was. And I saw it was floating around on Twitter a few days ago, an article, I think on the Guardian, from 2000, saying, from a warning from Athens saying, be careful of ENIC because they just don't really put any money into the club. Our sources of finance from the club, I think 2% of the money put into the club has come from owner capital. Compare that to other clubs, it's terrible. I mean, I think Arsenal's 0%, but still 0 and 2%. What's the difference? Liverpool's more, Chelsea's way more, and other clubs not in the big 6 in the Premier League are way more. So the fact that they've put barely any money into the club, and remember they've taken out debts on the stadium, not in ENIC's name, but actually in the Tottenham's name. So if they disappear and something, things really do get worse, that's our club on the line. And at that point, it's just very worrying. So
what's the answer, though, Alex? What's the answer? Because you can't pluck an owner out of thin air that's willing just to hand over £2 billion. You know what I mean? So what is the answer?
I think the answer for fans is that it's so difficult. I think we need to make it untenable for ENIC to continue owning the club. Well, look at for example, if you look at Arsenal, for example, the fans are doing a good job. I know Kroenke says they don't want to sell, but it's rubbish. I'm sure they would if a good offer comes in. And what the fans are doing is helping the new new prospective owner of Spotify by, if the fans are unhappy, that does bring the price down. And I think if we can make our voices heard as fans, that might potentially make ENIC think, you know what, we bought this club for, I can't remember how much they bought it for, but a tiny percentage of what they are going to make if they sell the club. If we can just bring that price down and make it enticing.
ENIC bought Tottenham for £22 million.
And there you go. And they'll sell. How much profit is that? That'll be hundreds of percentage profit. So, and that's insane. Exactly. In business, that doesn't happen too often, and so yeah. And even on the business side, recently things haven't been going that well. I mean, where's the stadium sponsor? It's been a couple of years now since
I don't know what he's waiting for.
He's waiting for the best deal, like he does for all the transfers. You know what I mean? It's exactly the same.
But we're declining. And people aren't going to if they see our squad, the attraction at the time when we were in the stadium it was a brand new era. We had Maurizio Pochettino in charge, had our stars tied down for long contracts. It was all going pretty well. Get to Champions League final. That was the time we should really bite. And it just hasn't happened. And I don't see how we are going to get especially with the pandemic. And that's not exactly their fault for not foreseeing that. But you get my point.
Yeah,
it's
completely.
Even with that, it's just very disappointing. And you asked a good question of how do you get them out. The truth is, I don't know, because that maybe government legislation. I think that's probably the best way to go
Would you accept ENIC staying if the government were to bring in this kind of German rule of 50% plus one?
So the thing with the 50% plus one rule is that I don't think it will happen in that way. What they might do, the government, is they will say from now on, future ownership has to be 50% plus one if that legislation is passed.
Right.
But what they won't do is retrospectively go back and say you have to now give up 50. The government will, I can promise you, will not do that. Retrospective legislation is not really a thing. Yeah. So I studied politics. it's not gonna happen. So that's a bit problematic.
Yeah.
So really, you're going to be looking for more sort of just lobbying and pressure, and maybe perhaps other types of legislation. Make it very difficult for them to keep owning the clubs with certain tax laws and stuff like that. And
you know what that means, Alex? It means put your dissertation to a side for one day.
Can you write a dissertation? Can you write your dissertation on getting new owners and this 50% plus one?
One of my friends was actually writing on something about Tottenham and ownership, but I'm doing it on Qatar and Russia and the World Cups and stuff like that, and corruption. Right. So yeah.
All right, I think that's another story for another day, that Qatar and corruption.
Yes.
And all that. But, I think we can talk about that for hours as well. But Alex, absolute pleasure to have you on as always. Mate.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
And it was great to see you on Sunday as well.
Soon,
yeah, it was great to see both of you.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.
See ya. Bye-bye.
See ya. We got a super chat here from Michael. Oh, it's just gone again. Michael David Seslecki, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry if I butchered that, by the way. He says, "We Are Tottenham is the original." Yes, they are. Should have backed Poch. Redeem yourself, Levy, and appoint and back Ten Hag. Team needs identity and structure. And yeah, I mean, that's completely obvious, isn't it? I mean, we've been missing an identity since probably the season we got Champions League final, to be fair, because we didn't really have an identity that season, did we?
No, but I think we did. Can't get my words out now. We lost 12 league games that year. Didn't win an away game for a year.
And the Champions League run just papered over.
Stumbled through to a Champions. It was like when Champions League run was like,
epic stumble. Come on.
Yeah, it's like
really epic stumble.
It was one of the most epic stumbles.
I had the best night of my life while stumbling.
You were stumbling out. I saw you in all the away games. You were stumbling around, mate. But yeah, it's a shame because look, I think at Tottenham we don't have the highest expectations because we know we don't expect to win the league every year. We don't expect to be up there every year, but we expect to be entertained. We expect to enjoy watching our football club, and we expect to have excitement, have passion, and we have none of it. It's all been taken away from us, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, no, I know. But I think last caller of the day. Yep, last caller of the day is big up to Matt Hayes. Let's get him on. Yes, Matt, how you doing, mate?
All good, guys. How are you getting on?
Yeah, we're good. Obviously, it's been quite a stressful stream. Levy has been trying to take us down time and time again. But we said no. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. But I'll mention it again. Everyone just go and spam their sponsors. ENIC out. Hashtag ENIC out. You know what time it is, as David Harris likes to say. But Matt, talk to me. New manager. What are you thinking?
Who do you want?
It's so difficult to get excited about this, and like I know, look, it's the same as what everyone has said, and I don't want to repeat everything that's already been said. But whatever manager we get, it's just going to be a case of he'll do, rather than someone we can actually get excited about. And look, it's an unpopular opinion, and I've been slated for it already, but I wouldn't have taken Nagelsmann, and I don't think Ten Hag is the best option either, because if we bring in any sort of a manager who's here for a rebuild, I think that's a lot of what Harry Kane wants at this club gone. And look, I agree with Slav. I don't think, even if he does want to leave, that he will be able to get that move, because in a global pandemic season, a 28-year-old injury-prone striker, 150 plus million, there aren't many teams out there that will go for that, especially. Plus his wages as well, yeah. When someone like Erling Haaland is available, I think a lot of teams will hold out and try and get something there. But look, exactly. I personally think it will be Erik Ten Hag, and a lot of fans will be happy about that. But I feel like it marks the end of an era at the club that we had hoped would have been such a successful one. And even if we won that game on Sunday, just get any sort of return for Lloris, Alderweireld, Kane, you can put Son in that bracket as well. Just something for what these players have put in, the amount of their career they've put into this club, to give them something. And I feel like bringing in another rebuild manager is kind of recognition that has come to an end. And look, in the long term, it may be better, but we all knew when Jose Mourinho came in that it was him. We knew it was him going to be in for the short term, looking for that short term success. And I think we've ripped a lot of the core of this club out in the last couple of years. If you're looking at the philosophies that have been instilled in the playing squad, the kind of passion and the pride that the fans had in the badge, a lot of that has been ripped apart. And I feel the only thing that we could really do to make that worth it is to get a trophy. And again, a stinky League Cup, as bad as it sounds, would go some way into kind of allowing that to happen. And look, I'm looking towards someone like Christophe Galtier from Lille, just from what he's managed to achieve in this season, especially given the players he's lost, losing the likes of Nicola Pepe, Victor Osimhen, Rafael Leao, and his recruitment there, which I know is massively helped, of course, by Luis Campos. But I want a trophy. I'm sick of saying here, like under Poch, we're playing great football. Yeah, but look, we're finishing second. We're so close to being the best, but we never were the best. And look, I just want a trophy.
I completely agree with everything. What you have just summed up my whole feelings about this squad in the club in about 40 seconds there. I could not agree more. The likes of, like you said, the likes of Hugo, the likes of Toby, Kane, all those sorts of players, the players that for the majority of the part, have put in their heart and soul to the club, the players that left everything out on the pitch mostly. They're the ones that deserved it on Sunday. I would have wanted nothing more than to see Hugo Lloris, who's been here for the best part of a decade, to leave, even if it is just a stinky League Cup, just to leave with it and to say, you know what, whilst we didn't win the big trophies, we had some great memories, and you leave with some form of silverware. That's why I was happy at the time when Michael Dawson got himself a medal. Whilst he wasn't the best centre-back we've ever had, he was someone that left everything out on the pitch. He was a proper passionate footballer that loved the club and still does love the club, and that's why I love him. And I was so happy that he got to leave the club with a winner's medal, and that's how I felt for a lot of these players. And I think you're absolutely right. This Ten Hag, the reason why we can't get excited over this Ten Hag is because it's just the end of an era of all these great players that we've had that have achieved nothing over the last 5-6 years. And it's going to be a long process back. Who knows who's going to be here next season, and who knows what is to come. And it's hard to get behind. It's going to be hard to get behind whoever comes in, and it's not going to be their fault either.
Absolutely. And like, speaking of Ten Hag, I see a few people down in the comments saying they are excited about it. And look, from the bunch that's there, I could get excited, and I could support the Ten Hag appointment. But look, people say you don't want Galtier because the French league isn't good enough, or you don't want someone from the Spanish or Germany because it's not at the level of the Premier League. The Eredivisie is another step down from that, and that's not opinion. You're looking at the UEFA coefficient standings as the kind of best example of the strength of each league, and Eredivisie is way down in that pecking order.
Yeah.
So first of all, you're looking at that. Yes, during Ten Hag's time, Ajax have had a monopoly over the domestic cups in the Netherlands, but for the majority of time, they've had that anyway. So look, it's all well and good winning those trophies, but when it's something that your club has done for so long, it does kind of take away a bit of the how impressive that is. But again, it is an achievement. You're then looking at the players he's brought through that team, like the Frankie de Jongs, Matthias de Ligt, David Neres, Donny van de Beek, Andre Onana. Fantastic, incredible players he managed to, in that 2018-19 season, put into a squad that was so perfectly balanced. You can have the experience of Daley Blind, Dusan Tadic, was a Klaas-Jan Huntelaar was there that year as well, and mixing that with the kind of freshness and the youthful exuberance of these players coming through. But look at the youth setup Ajax has had for so long. Even before he was there, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Eriksson, just Davinson Sanchez, players who have just played for Spurs who have come through that setup anyway. So again, as much as he played a part in that, the majority of that was already in place before he before he ever even got there. And look, the best thing he had was that run to the Champions League final. And you see a lot of fans giving out saying Lucas Moura isn't good enough, but his team conceded a hat-trick to Lucas in 45 minutes. And again, as much as we love that from our point of view, we have to look at that from the Ajax point of view. And you can use the phrase bottled. And look, again, I'm not going to say Ten Hag is a terrible manager, but I feel it's kind of a sign of how the club has regressed and how the fan base has, be it consciously or subconsciously, in some way kind of regressed or expectations with that. Because 18 months ago when we got Jose Mourinho, if that had been Eric Ten Hag, I feel there would have been a lot more fans opposed to that. But now maybe it's just because he seems to be the best of the rest.
To my original video, I said I wanted Ten Hag in originally after Poch. That's the one I said I wanted. But back to your point about a kind of project manager or a manager for the here and now. Doesn't this squad desperately need a project though? Because this squad is beyond stale. This squad is more than beyond stale. So do you not think that the project manager is more suited to what we've got in the squad right now?
Look, you could argue that. I think our squad has massively let us down this season. It overachieved at the beginning of the season, but I do feel as though it has incredibly underachieved in the latter stages of the season. And it looks a lot worse than it is, I think, because if you're taking those players man for man, if you bring in a couple of centre backs, maybe a right back, maybe a centre mid, I don't feel we are, 9-10 players. It is, but like if you're bringing in a project manager, he's going to bring in a starting 11 and he's going to bring in subs like that as well. And look, teams have done it in the past. Like Chelsea, the amount of managers they brought in, and it pains me to say it, but that model that Chelsea had throughout the late 2000s, early 2010s, in terms of bringing in a manager, winning a Premier League, maybe winning an FA Cup, then going stale for 2 seasons and getting a new manager in and doing that again. I bite your hand off for that at Spurs. And I feel as though our squad to some extent is in that space where we don't need a complete overhaul. We just need to tune a few things and add a few players here and there, and maybe we can be that, but it's not going to happen. Daniel Levy's at the helm. He's not going to give the money. He's not going to make that decision. It's all just dreaming at this moment, really.
Can I just go back a bit to ask you, because you weren't too keen on Ten Hag, well, you're not really too keen on our list. Realistically, we've got to be realistic here. Levy will be here for a while, unfortunately, or at least for the coming season, right? This coming season, he's going to make this appointment. Who do you want as the manager? You've got the choice.
You said Galtier, right?
You said I mean, he looks like he's going to Nice, so.
And that's, I think that is a sign of where Spurs are, that if we have approached him as I do believe we have, then is he really choosing Nice over us? Look, Galtier by no stretch of the imagination is my number one choice. He's not the one that if I was given a pick of the lot, I wouldn't go out with him. Even being some bit realistic, if it's taking Guardiola, Klopp, all them out of the mix, Galtier isn't the one. See, there's just not many out there, is there?
That's the thing.
There's a shortage of quality managers.
There is, but look, even if there were some quality ones, I don't think we could convince them to come to Spurs. It's just everything seems to be going against us at the moment. And look, I know I was supposed to come on here with a name, but I'm struggling to pick one up. But from the bunch that's there now, I don't know if you said it on your list because I missed that bit. But Galtier, Ten Hag, a second, I would say.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Matt Hayes wants Galtier, and I think you're the only one that has said Galtier. I think everyone has mentioned Ten Hag. I think Eden Cooper mentioned Allegri. But quickly on Allegri, what's your feelings towards Allegri?
Look, to put it short and sweet, he's been free from Juventus for a couple of years. He's been learning English. I think there's a reason no team has picked him up in that time. I think you do have to pay attention to that. Arsenal have had a few managerial vacancies, as have Chelsea. I'm not sure if he was free when United were getting Solskjaer. I think there's a reason he's still unemployed.
All right, fair enough. Just before I let you go, I'm loving that sign in the back of your set over there.
It's good, isn't it?
Loving it. Nice little going home present from London, that one.
I appreciated it.
No, but thanks a lot for coming on, and big up. Really nice to meet you on the weekend as well.
Yeah, Ben, Slav the 2V, and everyone else, an absolute pleasure to meet you all, and thank you again so much for that experience. It was one I'll never forget.
Look forward to see you here again soon.
Yeah, on the 15th, that is. Come over with David, that is right.
I'm halfway through my quarantine for this one. I can't get the time off work again. I'll be there in spirit. All
right. That's what we like to hear. Matt Hayes, absolute pleasure. Everyone go and subscribe to Matt Hayes right now. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Thanks a million, guys. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye. All right, and that is all the guests, I believe. Is that right? That's all the guests. So I would just like to say a thank you. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for tuning in today. I'd like to say sorry to everyone because the stream kept going down. Daniel Levy and his minions were trying to attack us, but that is it for today. 727 people watching at the moment, 420 likes. Everyone keep going, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Tomorrow we have got press conference. It is press conference day tomorrow, so the pre-Sheffield United press conference will be with you. We'll be going live just after the press conference is released with our pre-match fan show and all the kind of pre-match content which we usually do, predicted lineup, match preview, what have you. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.